Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering Disney. Disney's Snow White is in a crisis right now. Execs are panicking as star Rachel Zegler keeps trashing the original film. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you. I'm trying to get to 30,000 subscribers, so if you can subscribe, please do subscribe. Coming from the Daily Mail, exclusive branding experts warn Rachel Zegler's backlash could ruin Disney's big-budget Snow White remake and predict executives will be having crisis talks in order to win back fans ahead of the 2024 release. Rachel Zegler's comments about the upcoming live-action Snow White remake could have a huge impact on ticket sales, branding experts have warned. And I can tell you from a marketing perspective, what you don't want to do is turn off anyone about the movie. What you want is a positive buzz about the movie. People excited to see it. Not everyone's going to be excited to see any movie or any project, but what you want is at least some people excited to see it. The whole purpose of remaking Snow White is to capture some of the original magic from the first project. Disney had a similar problem with The Little Mermaid. This looks like it's going to be a worse problem than The Little Mermaid because there's no one that you're actually benefiting by alienating potentially anyone and everyone who could potentially want to see the movie. The 22-year-old actress has received plenty of backlash after she admitted that she hated the original 1937 movie and branded the storyline weird while referring to the prince character as a stalker. The big-budget Disney movie is scheduled for release in March 2024, and now it has been predicted that executives will be having crisis talks in order to do some serious damage control following the negative response to Rachel's stance. The backlash occurred after several videos of Rachel speaking negatively about the original film in various interviews last year resurfaced online, where she said of her version of the character, quote, "She's not going to be saved by the prince and she's not going to be dreaming about true love." Well, if you take that out, you may as well take out the apple. Take out the dwarves. Oh, well, they are taking out the dwarves. Why is it Snow White anymore? Just because they put the name Snow White on it? As well as being labeled as a fake feminist, some critics accuse Rachel of gaslighting, and one marketing consultant has warned that Disney will need to be careful with how they've portrayed Snow White. Branding expert Carla Speet said, "Whilst it's been clear that the original Disney princess films hold old values, Disney have fallen for the trap of going to the opposite extreme to inflict strong and loaded messaging on the viewers, believing that's empowerment. There was a time when Disney actors were media trained and were thoughtful about the impact of their words while sticking to key messaging about the films. But it seems with the total rewrite of Snow White, picturing her as a boss girl has gone to the heads of their stars. Disney will need to be careful with how they portrayed Snow White and what they do and don't allow their actors to say about it going forwards. They simply cannot repeat the same mistakes and allow their actors to be so vocal in their own personal opinions during promotions. This is the whole point of having an interview. You do the interview not to see what's on your mind. You do the interview to promote the project for the company that you're working with. The media training is very important, and I can't imagine why Disney stopped having media training with their top actors and actresses. Obviously, they need the media training. Obviously, they need to talk to them and give them feedback after they have these interviews. In one interview, if she spoke off the top of her head, or if something she said wasn't really what she meant, or it was what she meant, but she really should have kept it to herself, there should have been feedback given immediately to her. Someone should have sat her down and they should have done extensive media training, even before there was an accident. But of course, after there was an accident, that's exactly what you would do. She's responsible for whatever she says, but this kind of a problem is the fault of the studio to let it continue to go on. It can have a huge impact on ticket sales, especially with the amount of negative backlash so early in the promo trail. Carla continued, "They need to get the key messaging and strong selling point into a brief for the cast of the film and ensure they stick to it. If they don't, it's a disaster waiting to happen, and the backlash will keep growing. It's possibly a good idea to get Rachel to clarify what she meant and highlight it was her own personal opinion, not a slight on women, she advised. They should highlight the important messaging that it's okay to be who you want to be. After all, Disney has been famously telling us that they're the place where dreams do come true and have never actually defined what those dreams should be or could be, and neither should their actors. Public relations expert Nick Eade agrees and told Daily Mail that perhaps Rachel isn't the best person to promote the film, despite playing the main character. If she's an actress, can't they just train her on what to say? Give her a script. I don't understand why this is complicated. Rachel is a big-name star playing one of the world's most famous fairy tale characters immortalized by Disney, but instead of taking the lead of The Little Mermaid, Halle Bailey, and embracing her role, Rachel has actively chosen to spoil the narrative and express the new direction she has taken Snow White in. Nick goes on to say, this is by no means a wrong move, and Snow White and other stories, if they were written today, would have very different nuances and narratives, but the fact that she's actively being negative about the source material and laughing off the old Disney film and the fairy tale makes her look too eager to show off the new version and shows little or no respect for the previous version and other iterations. Of course, you're also showing no respect for the people that actually like Snow White, the real original movie. And then you're asking those people, now that I've shown you no respect and I think you're an idiot for liking the movie, why don't you go see my new version of it? Of course, that's not going to sell. Quote, I'm sure Disney executives must be having crisis talks and thinking perhaps their new Snow White isn't the best person to promote the film and ensure it's a box office success. The film is due out in 2024, and with a negative narrative that's now surrounding it, they will find it hard to create a magical and positive hype. The negative press may entice people to see what the fuss is all about, but unlike the recent Barbie movie, which features brilliant feminist and empowering messages which we only discovered upon viewing, it feels like the cat has been let out of the bag and we already have an opinion of the film thanks to Rachel's narrative. Speaking alongside her co-star Gal Gadot at the D23 Expo in September last year, Rachel promised fans that her version of Snow White is, quote, not going to be saved by the prince, and said she's not going to be dreaming about true love. Quote, she's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true, she told Variety. In a separate red carpet interview at the same event, she said, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. Rachel continued, referring to Andrew Burnap. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby, she joked, before admitting in a separate interview that she was terrified when she went on a Snow White ride at Walt Disney World. Quote, I was scared of the original version. I think I watched it once and never picked it up again. I'm being so serious, she claimed. I watched it once, and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. I was terrified of it, never revisited Snow White again. After TikTok and Twitter blew up with a negative response, Rachel seemingly responded to the backlash and tweeted on Friday, August 11th, I hope the world becomes kinder. A few hours later, she added, I love you very much, forever and ever. Remember to be kind. Treat each other with patience and empathy. Remember that you are loved unconditionally, no matter your mistakes, no matter your misunderstanding. You deserve it. You deserve love. You deserve to live without fear. When one fan replied and asked, are you also like extremely exhausted all the time? Rachel responded and said, I am so exhausted, I think it's over for me, to be honest. Really, it shouldn't be that hard to get some very basic media training and get some very basic answers that you can use that will support your film studio and support your career. It's not that difficult. You don't need to have the freedom to say whatever is on your mind because this does affect a lot of people. It affects the company. It affects all the other actors. It affects people who invest in these films. It affects the people whose job it is to promote these films and to try to make a living in the business. It's not that hard to understand. And because the original Snow White was a love story, it's a big deal. Rachel Zegler is being called a fake feminist. Also from the Daily Mail, Snow White star Rachel Zegler has been branded as a fake feminist after several videos of her trashing the original cartoon version of the hit movie resurfaced online, sparking outrage from Disney lovers. Not only has the 22-year-old admitted that she hated the original 1937 movie, she also described the film's prince as a stalker. Rachel also promised that her version of Snow White is not going to be saved by the prince, and she said she's not going to be dreaming about true love. Several videos of Rachel speaking negatively about the original movie in various interviews last year have resurfaced online, which led to many people slamming her, and some even accused her of gaslighting her fans. In one video that was posted on TikTok last week and has since been viewed over 9.4 million times, user Angie criticized Rachel for failing to acknowledge that women have the right to pursue whatever they want. Angie captioned the post, "Just because a woman values something different does not make her any less valuable. Some women want a career and not marriage." Quote, "Some women want a marriage or a family and not a job. Some women want both. All are to be heard, seen, and valued. Write stories about all women and depict them all as valuable and worthy instead of trying to mold them into one specific image of what you deem worthy. Thank you." The TikTok post began with a clip of Rachel speaking to Variety back in September 2022, where she clarified what she meant when she said she was bringing a modern edge to the Disney princess character. The video then cut to Angie as she shared thoughts and argued, "I could literally write a PhD thesis on the pseudo-feminism that is criticizing Disney princesses. Criticizing Disney princesses is not feminist. Not every woman is a leader. Not every woman wants to be a leader. Not every woman wants or craves power, and that's okay." She continued, "It is not anti-feminist to want to fall in love, to want to get married, to want to stay home, to want to be a homemaker. None of these things make you less valuable as a person or a woman." Many other people quickly followed in Angie's footsteps and uploaded their own TikTok videos where they questioned comments made by Rachel. So of all the problems that Disney has, of all the issues they have financially, all the issues they have where people are not watching their movies, people are canceling Disney Plus, they don't know what they're going to do with ESPN. They don't know what they're going to do with their cable channels. They're not quite sure how they're going to pay for Hulu. In addition to this, they need to have another live remake completely disrespecting the original movie. At least that's what it seems like. And it seems like without Disney's permission, reinvent the definition of what a Disney princess is and basically attack women and girls who do not agree with Rachel Zegler. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.